Hello, sports fans. You are listening to Beyond the Bakerboard, the podcast that covers all things sports. I am your host, Michael Rachel, joined by Arnold Malik, and the man on the other side of the camera is Jack, the stat man. Cut ahead. How you doing, Jack?
I'm okay. How about you?
I'm good. Arm, how you doing?
Not too well.
Not too well. Why's that?
Miami lost, and I have a slight cold.
That's right. Miami did lose tonight. Game 3. Philly won 128-108. They were led by Joel Embiid. Coming off the injury tonight, he dropped 23 points, 5 of 11 shooting, 3 of 4 from 3, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, and a steal in 30 minutes. The Heat were led by Goran Dragic tonight with 23 points on 8 of 13 shooting in 27 minutes. Jack, big win for Philly tonight. What are your thoughts?
Philly, this might have been the most impressive performance of the playoffs so far for them. I was really interested to see how Embiid and Simmons played together in a road environment in their first playoff game together, especially with Embiid being injured. It was about as impressive as it gets. The Heat came out on fire, particularly Winslow and Johnson, especially from 3. They were hitting a lot of their shots early, and honestly, I thought that the Heat were going to run away with it a little bit because Embiid looked a little bit slow, a little bit sluggish. He was getting to the line, but what just happened?
I like one. We're good. Keep going.
We're good. The Heat, Embiid was getting to the line, but he wasn't making a ton of his shots early. He was struggling a little bit, but they kept pace. And eventually in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter, Embiid showed why he's the cornerstone of this franchise. He made a ton of great plays down the stretch that, honestly, I don't think the Heat could have done anything about, especially like his bank shot at the top of the key and then his 3 over James Johnson in the fourth quarter. I was really impressed with that, especially considering that's not the strength of his game, is jump shooting. I mean, he's much better like when he gets down low in the post, as most big men of his ilk are. So I was really impressed with that. And I was also really impressed with Ben Simmons. He struggled a little bit in game 2 with the pressure that Justice Winslow and Josh Richardson were putting on the ball, but he played really, really well and kept Philly afloat, I feel like, with a lot of his all-around play. The way they played tonight, I'm tempted to say they're the favorite to win the East. I'm tempted. I mean, what do you guys think?
Joel Embiid, he played really well. Not only just offensively, actually defensively he was really good too. Every time I feel like people drove to the rim, he went up straight vertical. They had nowhere to go. He forced a few travels. Ben Simmons was pretty much unguardable. The difference in game 2, they came up and they were pressuring him. This game they didn't really do that much. So that was one difference I noticed. But
do you think they're the favorite in the East?
No, not yet. I mean,
Cleveland?
Yeah, Cleveland.
Jack, I agree with you. I think Philly's still the favorite in the East. Arm, real quick. Miami had a lot of momentum coming into game 3 tonight after getting that big steal in game 2 on the road. Got off to a pretty good start. What was disappointing at the end of the first, beginning of the second quarter? They kind of
the most disappointing part of Miami is the play of Hassan Whiteside. Because I don't know, he's been injured a lot of the year this year, so I'm not sure if that is impacting him at all. But he isn't even putting in he doesn't put in any effort, it looks like. He doesn't like try to box out. He was so dominant last year and the years before of getting offensive rebounds and getting on the glass and getting on the putbacks. But he doesn't appear to be a factor whatsoever. So for me, that's probably the most disappointing part.
Whiteside played 13 minutes tonight, 5 points, 101 from the field, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Jack, only 2 rebounds, a block, 2 turnovers, and 4 fouls. Jack, do you have a problem with Whiteside only taking 1 shot tonight on a beat-up Embiid?
No, I completely agree with Arm. Whiteside, look, part of what makes the Heat a really good team is that they embrace the gritty work and the hard work that it takes to outplay their talent level. And I was going into the series, I thought if Embiid played, Whiteside would be needed. And I actually still think that in order to actually kind of prevent him from preventing Embiid, that is, from playing as well as he can. Because, I mean, Embiid, especially in the fourth quarter, you saw James Johnson was guarding him, and he was able to shoot right over him. I mean, if that's Whiteside, ideally, Embiid has more trouble there. And that's, like, from a physical standpoint, I feel like they need Whiteside to play better. But, my God, when he needs to be much better defensively. It's just that simple. He's not protecting the rim. Whenever he was hacking Embiid, whenever Embiid posted him up, that is where he needs to make his mark on this series. And he's not doing a good enough job. Also, it's not even just Embiid. When Ersan Ilyasova is at center, or any of the Sixers three-point shooters are at center, he's just lost. He's not tracking any of them at the three-point line, and they're just getting wide open three after wide open three. And it just comes down to working hard. It's hard to be a center like him in the NBA now because everyone can shoot threes and you have to be able to guard on the perimeter. But he's just got to work. I think he said before this game that he needed more touches or something and he needed to play in the fourth. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I did.
He did, yeah. He's not going to if he doesn't defend. Like, his final play, I think, other than that dunk on an alley-oop, was the possession before he just threw the ball out of bounds right at the start of the fourth quarter. It's things like that, those little mistakes that add up in playoff games when you just need to execute. And he's not working hard enough to play, even though I think they need him.
So like you said, like Miami's a team that, they work so hard. So they're not that talented, but they are in every game because they work so hard. Whiteside's the exact opposite. He's so talented, and he honestly does not use any of his talent. All
right, real quick, I want to get to Embiid real quick. As good as I have a question for you guys. As good as Ben Simmons is, and triple doubles, and his point guard at being 6'10" or however tall he is, and they're saying he could be the future of the NBA. Is it fair to say that Joel Embiid, currently to the media and to fans, is the face of the franchise right now?
No. I think it's Ben Simmons.
You think it's Ben Simmons? I mean, not you personally. I'm saying, like, in general right now.
Oh.
Is Joel Embiid looked at as the face of the franchise?
Well, I think he hasn't played enough games. I don't think he is.
You don't think that currently he's being portrayed as the face of the franchise?
Right now, Colin Cowherd said that Ben Simmons is basically taking the torch from LeBron.
Right.
So
you think more of this attention is just because of the injury, not because?
I think Embiid played more games, maybe. But what do you think, Jack?
I think Embiid's the face of the franchise right now. I think he's the closest. I think both of them kind of can coexist, but Embiid,
I don't even think it's.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, Embiid, it's not just what he does on the court. He's sort of embraced Philly's whole vibe, the whole process thing. His social media branding has really helped. Like, being an NBA player and being the face of a franchise isn't just about what you do on the court these days. It's more about how you engage in all sorts of ways. And he's one of the best at it at such a young age. I really like the way that he's handled, especially when you're a young player coming to a team that initially was losing a lot. Like, a lot. I think a lot of young players could have come in and been like, what are we doing? Why are we playing this way? He saw the bigger picture, and I think he's a lot smarter than he gets credit for. And not to say that Ben Simmons can't fill that void or just can't, like, help him in that sense, but I think Embiid is the face right now.
Yeah, where I will agree with you is when Jahlil Okafor was drafted by Philly, I don't know if you remember this, but he dropped the mic when they were introducing him, and he almost didn't want to be in Philadelphia.
Dropped the jersey.
Yeah, he didn't want to be there. But Joel Embiid, though, he loved being in Philadelphia, even though they were terrible. So that's where I do agree. Maybe
I think
they love him.
I think Ben Simmons really appreciates what Embiid does off the court, being the extrovert and being the social media savage that he is. And because now Simmons is kind of just going about his business, doesn't have all the pressure on himself because Embiid takes a lot of that off of him based on people either hating him, loving him, just the attention that he gets kind of just lets Simmons kind of stay on the down low and just be productive. But he's got that guy that people look at where it's not just like a LeBron figure where LeBron's got to carry. That's my thought.
Yeah, they could be really good.
All right, Jack, MVP in the game 3.
I have to say, I think it was Simmons. I think Embiid really showed up in the fourth, but for the first 3 quarters, he wasn't playing at his best, which is understandable. It's your first playoff game, and you can't even see out of those goggles pretty well. But Simmons kept them going, and that was really interesting to me to see how Simmons on his own could carry the series, because there are a lot of ways that teams have very easily been able to deal with non-shooters in the playoffs in the past few years. Your Andre Robersons, your Tony Allens, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And he's been fantastic this whole series in that sense. He's been able to deal with it as well as any rookie I've ever seen, any player, really. I mean, I just thought he was so impressive tonight.
All right, Arm, your MVP tonight.
Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons.
Same reason, Jeff.
My MVP is not Ben Simmons. I'm actually going off the bench for Philadelphia. I'm going with Marco Bellinelli. 7 of 13 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3-point, 21 points off the bench, a plus 20 in the stat sheet. Gave 33 really productive minutes. I mean, not a lockdown defender, but what did Wade have tonight? He had 8 tonight. So, I mean, Marco Bellinelli really came off the bench, gave it that energy that they needed. And I feel like he's the player of the game tonight. All right, looking forward to game 4 in Miami. What are your keys to a Miami victory to stay in the series, really?
They lost game 1. They came out of game 2 with a lot of urgency, and they pressed Philly 94 feet, in particular Simmons. I think that would be the key. I mean, game 1, they shot a really high percentage from 3. Game 2, they did not. Game 3, they did. And I think that's just the key. More energy and defense.
Jack, keys to a Miami victory in game 3 or game 4.
I mean, I've already gone over this, but Whiteside Carter, I think that he can make a bigger impact and really change the tone of the series. But also Wade, I mean, he came back after that game 2 performance and just didn't show up tonight. And it's not just his scoring. I personally think that he's the best sort of facilitator that they have in creating his own looks and then opening up passing and shooting opportunities for his teammates on this team. And I think that he's the one guy that can do that for them.
Really. I thought he was a good facilitator tonight. He didn't have his shot going, but that's
yeah, exactly.
He did well tonight.
Exactly.
He needs to be more aggressive in game 4.
I think for me, for game 4, I think it's just the Miami bench in general. Tonight they had Justice Winslow, who probably had the best game, obviously of the playoffs, but honestly of the year. I mean, he had 19 and 10 tonight, but Justice Winslow isn't really their go-to guy off the bench. So I think Dwayne Wade and Kelly Olynyk have to do more in game 4 if they want a chance to win. And then I agree with Jack. It's on Whiteside. I mean,
I've given up on Whiteside. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Jack, prediction for game 4.
I think Philly wins. I think Embiid plays better, and I think Philly wins and goes back with a 3-1 lead.
I think Miami will get the win in game 4, but I'm starting to lean that Philadelphia will win the series.
I'm going to take Philly in game 4. I think it's going to be close, single digits. But, yeah, we're looking forward to it. All right, that's going to do it for us tonight. Make sure to like and subscribe right down there below. Follow us on Twitter at BeyondDebatable. Our Malik joining us once again. On the other side of the camera is Jack the Stat Man Cudahy. And I'm Michael Rachel. You've been listening to Beyond Debatable.